Cold and calculated. Frost is a frame that channels the chilling forces of ice to freeze enemies in their tracks. Now, as always, before getting into it, I need to give my disclaimer. Builds for frames or weapons seen in these videos aren't for everyone. Experiment with mod builds to see what works best for you. The information in this video will also be based on the current version of the game as of the making of this video, so if something seems outdated, it's most likely because it is. Okay? Let's dive in. Did you know? Frost's design comes from the concept art for a cut boss from Digital Extreme's 2008 title Dark Sector. It's unknown why this boss was cut, or what it would have been like in the game. Stat-wise, Frost is among the more tank-like frames, with a sizable amount of health, shield, and ammo, but has a low energy pool. Frost's passive ability grants a 10% chance of enemies becoming frozen for 20 seconds upon being struck by a melee attack. Put your enemies on ice. Freeze launches an icy projectile that deals cold damage upon contact with either enemies or surfaces. Enemies that are hit directly become frozen for a short time within a 3-meter radius from the impact point. The freeze duration will end if the affected enemy loses more than half of their current health. However, it can't be recast on the same enemy, restarting the frozen counter. Freeze's augment, Freeze Force, allows Frost to grant additional cold damage to allies when held down. Catch your enemies off guard. Ice Wave sends a wave of ice crystals that jet from the ground towards enemies. The waves follow terrain, allowing them to elevate to damage enemies. Ice Wave Impedance, the augment, leaves a trail of frozen ground after casting Ice Wave, slowing enemies who travel on it. Protect yourself from attacks. Snow Globe creates a dome of ice that protects Frost and allies from enemy attacks. Upon activation, enemies within the radius of Snow Globe will become frozen for 3 seconds, while pushing them outwards. If affected enemies hit obstacles when being pushed out, they will take as much as 50% of their maximum health. It will slow enemies that enter the Snow Globe in both movement and attack. Casting Freeze on the Snow Globe will cause it to be destroyed, creating an ice explosion that deals Freeze's base area damage in an area of effect. Snow Globe's augment, Chilling Globe, gives Snow Globe a chance to temporarily freeze enemies upon entering its range. Bury your enemies alive in ice. Avalanche summons a landslide of snow and ice around Frost, freezing enemies and then sending a pulse to further damage enemies while also reducing their armor temporarily. If an enemy dies in the cold, they shatter, causing minor explosion that deals additional damage to surrounding enemies. Casting Freeze on enemies affected by Avalanche extends the armor reduction and freeze duration. Icy Avalanche, the augment, grants both Frost and allies a protective coating of ice for each enemy frozen by Avalanche. Modding Frost can go several ways. Flow or Prime Flow can increase Frost's energy pool. Strength mods can increase the damage by Freeze, Ice Wave, and Avalanche, while increasing the base health and armor multiplier of Snow Globe. Duration mods can increase the duration of frozen enemies by Freeze and Avalanche. Range mods can increase the range of Ice Wave and the radius of Snow Globe and Avalanche. My build for Frost goes as follows. Enter Siphon for the aura, Quick Thinking is a failsafe, Prime Flow to increase the energy pool, Prime Vigor to increase health and shield, Constitution to increase the duration of Freeze and Avalanche, Intensify to increase the damage of Freeze, Ice Wave, and Avalanche, Streamline to decrease the energy cost of abilities, and Chilling Globe to give a chance of freezing enemies that enter Snow Globe. Here's how to use Frost in combat. For when you want to play defensively, cast a few Snow Globes. Cast Ice Wave to deal damage to enemies in front of you. Casting Freeze on any Snow Globes created can deal damage. And for tight situations, Avalanche can cause massive damage to surrounding enemies. And with that concludes our look at Frost. Next we'll be looking at Nyx, so if you tend to have anything for that, leave a comment below and I might feature it in the next one. Just remember, whether you use them for offense or defense. Frost is a chilling force that can freeze over your enemies. Until then, stay true, Tenno.